We're
watching these
cooking.
off-season grind videos of, the boys, like there's a certain quotient to this team, and I don't know how to describe it. Maybe a little bit of it factor that we just haven't had, where these guys seem like they get along. There seems like there's a vibe in the clubhouse kind of deal, and I kind of love that. I think we brought in a lot of young guys, and we're turning this team over to a lot of young guys, and a lot of those stalwarts that, in my opinion, just didn't give good enough effort. Chris Bell, Quadir Copeland, guys like that. Like those guys are gone. I'm happy to see those guys out the door. The last 2 years of Syracuse basketball, we were worse than the sum of our parts kind of teams. And I
100%.
hate that shit. And
You're watching Domed In Cuse, the quick hit podcast for real Orange fans. If you love Cuse sports, hit like and subscribe.
all right, Domed in Pod. Tav. Let's talk a little basketball, brother. We've kind of been on a hiatus from the basketball because it's, headlong into the beginning of football season, but let's dive into the boys, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, we're getting back close to hoop season here, dude. Interesting off season here for the Orange, like we just got, I think like we witnessed probably the worst basketball season most of the fan base has witnessed in history, honestly, the last year. Like that was the worst Syracuse team I certainly have ever seen. And so like just this year, like I don't know, dude, we really, really, really got to see a bounce back or it's going to be, I think, almost a sure thing that we are turning the page on the Red Autry era. But interesting things. I mean, I like the roster coming in this year. It's definitely a better team. We've got more talent. Don't love that JJ is hurt, it appears to be right now. Like there's a rumor that he may have a broken finger, which is not ideal, but I think he should be good for camp either way. But I don't know, you want to talk schedule a little bit? Maybe we jump into schedule.
Yeah, I mean, I just start with, one thing is the social media team's been fire. I
Oh,
mean,
we're
watching these
cooking.
off-season grind videos of, the boys, like there's a certain quotient to this team, and I don't know how to describe it. Maybe a little bit of it factor that we just haven't had, where these guys seem like they get along. There seems like there's a vibe in the clubhouse kind of deal, and I kind of love that. I think we brought in a lot of young guys, and we're turning this team over to a lot of young guys, and a lot of those stalwarts that, in my opinion, just didn't give good enough effort. Chris Bell, Quadir Copeland, guys like that. Like those guys are gone. I'm happy to see those guys out the door. The last 2 years of Syracuse basketball, we were worse than the sum of our parts kind of teams. And I
100%.
hate that shit. And it was a lot of lazy efforts, not good nights, letdowns versus teams we should beat. Like, we lose to Duke or we lose to North Carolina when they're at their top of their game. Whatever, I get that. But we would have a lot of letdowns going up against mediocre ACC
We
teams
were just
that
bad.
we were at least as good as.
Yeah. I mean, 100%. We were just poorly constructed team last year. I mean, I don't even want to dwell too much on that team from last year because it was just flawed from its,
The whole team was
inception.
flawed. It was a
Like
makeup flawed, yeah.
it was a bad team. Like I'm ready to move on to this year, but I think, like you said, dude, there is it factor with this team. I think like it's crazy to ignore Kyan being on the roster. Like he brings eyeballs in a way, and especially from his age group that like we haven't had players do really ever.
The prince that was promised.
Right,
I know you're not a Game of Thrones guy, but all of my Game of Thrones fans out there will get the reference.
Yeah, I think people appreciated that. So yeah, I don't know, man. I like the roster. I like the transfers we brought in. This should be a tournament team if it's well coached. I think that's honestly you listen around to folks. Field 68 did a good review on Cuse in their offseason, and big take. I mean, this is a roster that should be an NCAA tournament team. Like we've brought in some size. We've brought in versatility in the front court as well with William Kyle, Soiree. You've got Donnie Freeman coming back. You've got Nathan George coming in, like in the backcourt, pure point guard there in George. King's shooter, shot maker, scorer. There's a lot of pieces there to come back with JJ. You've got Kyan coming in. You've got Luke Fennell coming in. We're going to rely on freshmen more on the bench end of things. But, like, you've also got Tyler Betsy, who's another transfer. Like, we've got a lot of guys on this team, who are expected.
Can Red make it work?
Totally. And, like, we've got experience pretty much across, the starting lineup. And then the bench is going to be young guys. Like, that's how the team is built this year. We should be a good team. Like, this should be a team that is top half of the league in the ACC at the worst. And, like, if we can't deliver that, we're going to have a new coach next year. It's just simple as that.
When it comes to the ACC, who are we looking at as, like, the top teams this year?
I mean, I think it's, quite frankly, none of the teams that we have at home, right? Like, it's going to be Duke, it's Louisville, it's UVA, it's NC State, I think would probably be my top 4 if I'm just going off the top of my head. North Carolina is going to probably be okay. I didn't love what they did this offseason, but I would say
how's Pitt going to be any good?
Top 4, to be honest with you, like Duke, Louisville, NC State, and UVA. UVA will be much improved this year.
How's Pitt going to be?
Who?
Pitt.
Not great. Like, Pitt is not great. But yeah, I think those will be the top 4 teams in the league, honestly, and then everybody else will kind of be competing after. I think Miami will also be much improved. There's a lot of teams that are kind of more iffy this year. Like, UNC did bring in some transfers, but they kind of struck out on some guys.
That's a game I'd like to get to in the Dome. That's Saturday, February 21st, UNC in the Dome. Exactly. I'd like to try to get to that one.
Exactly. That's our best home game this year.
Saturday, March 7th versus Pitt. I'd like to get to that one in the Dome if we could.
Yeah.
Try.
Yeah. But our ACC schedule is a bit of a bummer. I think we don't have a lot of what are going to appear to be quad 1 opportunities at home in conference, which is really what you need, frankly, in my opinion, to help boost your tournament resume. It's just like, it's the easy way to accumulate high quality wins to play those teams at home. And if you don't have those, basically the top teams in your conference on your schedule at home that year, it makes it tough. Like, we're going to have to win games in the Players era this year, or at least in the preseason. And it's going to be tough. I shouldn't say preseason, but early season. Like, our schedule.
Early season, pre ACC play season.
It's pre-conference season.
Yeah.
And so, like, it's going to be an interesting year. Like, we're going to dive right into the fire. I mean, we've got basically, I believe it's St. Joe's, Kansas, then Houston, and then another game likely out there in Vegas.
And then Tennessee.
Then we come back and play Tennessee. And that is a gauntlet of teams to have to play against there.
And then it's Cupcake City, and then we start playing Clemson December 30th for our ACC opener right before Christmas.
Exactly. Like, it's a really tough late non-conference schedule, and we've got the thing that drives me the most nuts. Sorry, we can cut that up. But the thing that drives me the most nuts is this game we're playing against Drexel in Philadelphia. I do not understand this game. This is a bizarre scheduling decision from the staff. The Wells Fargo Center must be handing us a bag for this, because
explain why.
There's no reason Syracuse should be going to Philadelphia to play Drexel. Right, we are
in a neutral site game.
Correct. Even in a home, like, why would we even go to Drexel? Drexel comes to us, right? Like, right. We are the bigger program.
We are Syracuse basketball.
Exactly. And if we're going to go to Drexel, right, or we're going to go to Philadelphia, you play them there, so that way you get the true road game value of that. Instead, we're going to play a neutral site game, get neutral site value out of this game. It's such a bizarre decision. Like, it's just not good when you're trying to build a late season resume. Like, it's a small thing, but it's just not a smart thing to do.
Right.
And it's something like, as a powerful program, like Duke would never do this.
Why are we doing this? We shouldn't do this.
Exactly.
It goes back to kind of how we've talked about this with basketball team, is like, when 10 years ago, when you pulled up your schedule and you saw Syracuse, you were like, "Oh shit, we got Syracuse on our schedule."
But we thought
And we were
winning
never
every
the
game.
team that was counting who we were playing. We didn't look at our schedule for the season. Oh, who gives a shit? We're gonna kill these teams.
Yeah.
We're the best team in the ACC. We're the best team in the Big East. We don't care if we play Georgetown or we don't care if we play Duke. Like Duke has to come to us, or we got to go to Duke. Duke better beat us. We're gonna go down to Cameron and give them everything we have. Jim Boeheim's gonna rip that suit right off his back. We're not worried about it. And now it's like, oh, we got to play this team at home and this team on the road. And I understand what you're saying of like, hey, like these are the opportunities we need to take. And unfortunately, all the opportunities that we need to take are on the road, which makes it tougher. But back in the day, we would have never had that thought. We wouldn't have thought like that.
Not at all. But this is sort of the situation we're at as a program.
We would have thought we're going into the Yum Center against Louisville. They better be prepared because we're going to come take you over. We're going to beat the shit out of Louisville in the Yum Center.
Totally. I mean, look, if I thought
Rick Pitino in his white suit.
If this honestly was a Jim Boeheim team, which is like an interesting question to ask, right? Like, what would we think about this team if this was coached by Jim Boeheim in 2012, right? Because I think that's like kind of what the fan base kind of really wants to compare it to. I think we'd be pretty good. Like, I don't know if we're unbelievable, but I think this team with Boeheim coaching it is easily a tournament team and is probably, a top 8 seed, I think is where I'd go with this. Like,
are we Michael Carter Williams or are we Scoop Jardine era? We're probably closer to Carter Williams.
The Michael Carter Williams era made the Final Four,
Yeah, but they did it as like a 10 seed or something. Like
I think they were maybe a 3 or a
3, a 3 seed. Okay.
I'm trying.
That was when we played Michigan that year.
Yeah, when we lost to Michigan.
Let's see.
But we were. I know when we won the championship, we were 3.
Four seed that year.
We were 4 seed that year. Yeah, because
you think we'd be somewhere around there?
Indiana. We upset Indiana that year.
Yeah. You think we'd be somewhere around a 4 to 6 seed if it was a Jim Boeheim team?
Maybe a slightly low. I'd say maybe 6 to 8, maybe 5 to 8 is maybe more appropriate. But
we were 30-10 that year.
What's that?
We were 30-10 that year. You think we would get to 30 wins with Boeheim this year? Probably close.
Yeah, I mean, if you run up, obviously, like all those, like the tournament games, like like that, we won a lot of games in tournament play. I think we made the ACC championship game that too, and got boat raced by Louisville that year.
That was
so
a good.
We won a lot of postseason games that year, so we were probably maybe a 22-10 regular season team. Like, we could do that with this team. Yeah, I think easily. Like, with a good coaching, I think we can do that with this team. The schedule is not doing us any favors, but there's a lot of winnable games. The ACC has a lot of winnable games. Dude, this conference is not as deep as it used to be. Like, there's a lot of bad teams in this league. Like, Cal is going to be awful. Like, Stanford is not going to be great. There's a lot of bad teams, honestly. I think Wake is going to be iffy. We'll see how Georgia Tech is. They might be bad. I mean, their roster got gutted. Certain teams will be better. Like Miami will be a lot better this year. Florida State should be a little bit better, but we'll see. It's a new coach. Pitt's going to be Boston College will be terrible. Like, there's a lot of bad teams in this league. And a lot of teams with big question marks like Syracuse has. And like, if we're coached well, we could rattle off wins in this league. Like, that's very possible. But I mean, look, we've got an experienced roster. We've got a junior point guard, senior shooting guard, like a 22, 23-year-old junior at the wing in Kings. Donnie's a sophomore, but then you still got William Kyle, who's fifth-year player, actually, maybe. So he's 22, 23. Like, we're an old team, There's no excuses with this roster. Like, then you've got a bunch of young guys coming off the bench. Like, this is a team that should make the tournament,
The one thing I'm going to miss is when we finally do get back to the tournament, I'm going to miss being the 2-3 zone team. There was nothing like just fucking teams up with the 2-3 zone. They hadn't seen it all year. All of a sudden, Syracuse is on their schedule. Some of those kids in those tournament games would look like they had never played against the zone in their entire life because that Jim Boeheim zone was diabolical, man. And we would just go out there and these teams would shoot like 20% from the field. It was awesome, man. I'm going to miss that because it was such a crazy switch up from everything else you would see. Oh,
we turned D1 players into middle schoolers every March. Like, it was awesome. You know,
it was awesome. They like couldn't dribble. They like didn't know where to go with the ball. They'd be like, "Oh, I'm just gonna throw it in the middle." But Syracuse used to be so long and athletic that was actually not the move. You didn't really want to throw it into the middle unless you had a big guy who could really pass it out of there. You didn't really want to throw it in the middle because that ball's getting deflected 90% of the time.
Right. That's the thing is with this roster this year, like we honestly could play an incredible Syracuse 2-3 zone. Like we've got nice sized guards up top. I mean, if you slide Sadiq White in on the back line there, who's going to be a very fun player for Syracuse fans. Like he is going to be a fan favorite so fast, you know, like this guy, he's an energy guy. He's going to be an energy guy. He's going to be everywhere. He's going to do the little things on the court that people love.
Something we've missed since we had Merrick Dolezaj.
Line with William Kyle, who's like a take a quarter off the top of the backboard guy. Like,
yeah,
this is what we built our zone defense on. You've got Soiree who can come in and give you 5 fouls and long arms behind him. Like, this is how we built a Syracuse roster back, 15 years ago. And it's just like, if we're well coached, we should be a good team. And it should be a team that makes fans get the passion back a little bit again.
Because we missed that.
It's a sleeping giant of a fan base, dude.